Hello, everyone. Otis is already settled in. I've been down in this on this set speaking and doing a lot of different things with all the stories. I've got all this information laid out and just really trying to understand what is going on, because there's a lot of talk about Meghan Markle being laughed out of Hollywood. There's talk about her not being invited to this Gweneth Paltrow event. And, you know, certain things are not adding up. But I'm going to put a little perspective on it just to kind of see what comes out of it as I talk about it. But Meghan literally is falling from a position that was so much better for her, but she has come so far down to make herself this unlikable character that is going to, no matter what, continue to try to find her way into a position that is going to elevate her big ego. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. Otis is tired today, folks. He's really tired, aren't you? You're tired. He's a tired puppy dog. Oh, you want your belly rubbed? Oh, look, he's like, okay, rub my belly. Oh, okay. Okay, it's like that, Mr. Otis. It's like that. He wants his belly rubbed. Okay, so there's a couple things happening. So let's get to our story, Mr. Otis. Let's get to our story, okay? All right, so this is what's going on. Meghan is being laughed out of Hollywood by A-listers. This is what people are saying. This article came out and it talked about Hollywood power players are less impressed with her showbiz prowess. You're not doing this good, girl. This whole Hollywood thing. It's not going well for you. And she is scrambling after the launch of her forthcoming podcast, Limonada Media, was reportedly pushed back until next year. Now, they are looking to pause it out of fear of her upcoming launch of her lifestyle brand with American Riviera Orchard would take attention away from all of the audio endeavors that she's working on. Because they're saying that Meghan gets greedy. She wants to do all of these things and she can't do them all very well. And she just thinks she deserves to do any and everything that she wants to do, but she doesn't, right? So she wants everything at once. It's backfiring on her. She's become a total joke in Hollywood. She's overplaying her hand. And these Limonada executives are worried that Meghan's upcoming Netflix cooking show will divert attention away from the podcast as well. They're like, we're the priority. If you're going to work with us, you got to put that other stuff to the side. What you doing just handing out jams? Why? Why are you handing out jams? Limonada is saying. The jam and lemonade don't go good together, essentially. So they surely expect it to be Meghan's priority, but she must have decided she had bigger fish to fry with Netflix. And I'm going to talk to you briefly about the contradictions, because there's some things, some sneakily, some really scandalous things that are happening within Hollywood. Because this story, it sounds pretty upfront. That, look, Hollywood, they dissing Meghan. That's good, because we don't like her anyway. We think she got a big head. So they're not happy with Meghan, they say, these A-listers. But I'm thinking there might be some covert action happening here by some most recent events that have happened. Just hang in there with me, folks. Hang in there with me. So sources say that Meghan is now desperately needs a hit with her Netflix show and her lifestyle brand in order to prove that she and husband Harry are still viable in Hollywood. It's like her test. It's like, okay, you have come down. We're not sure you're ready to hang with us A-listers. Let's see what you're going to do with your next project. And if it is a success, then we'll let you back in. Because let's not get it twisted, folks. Something very sneakily scandalous is happening with these articles. It's going to make sense in a second. Just hang in there. So insiders aren't holding out. Almost everything that they have tried has ended in disaster. Meanwhile, one well-placed source in Tinseltown has said that A-listers have little respect for the Duchess, who commands big bucks for her content. Now, that is true. I can see that happening, but there's some shady A-listers out there that are really still trying to help Meghan in a covert kind of way, in a way that's kind of on the down low, so to speak. Okay, so here's what we got. So then Gweneth Paltrow comes out with this intimate goop dinner at her Montecito home, trying to make a statement. Now, there have been talks about Meghan being out with Gwyneth Paltrow. We've never seen the photos, but there's been these articles that say that. And so then I look at, well, Gwen is in this, she's having this event, this intimate dinner. And she goes on to say during this event, I promise everyone will be in bed by 9 is a joke. And I think that's pretty good, because as older folks, we want to be in bed. We need to get our sleep. And especially if you're older, you need that beauty rest, because you wake up with bags under your eyes. If you don't get your sleep, you're grouchy, you're grumpy. Nobody wants to stay up late. Nobody's young anymore, at least the people that I hang around with. We all want to get to bed because we tired. Okay, so that was a good ha-ha by Gwyneth. Now, this intimate group of around 40 guests, and I find 40 being an interesting number because Meghan, when she turned 40, hint, hint, turned 40, wink, wink, she had this 40 by 40 special thing. Okay. So the Goop founder, there's a little slight connection there. Just hold on to that for a second. So the Goop founder, in collaboration with Laurel Piana, hosted a perfect evening outdoors surrounded by lemon trees and California coastlines on Friday evening. Arrivals began at the top of the driveway, which allowed for a picturesque photo moment, followed by a stroll down a tree-lined path that unfolded into the main lawn where cocktail hour was enjoyed. So these were some of the guests that were there. Oprah, Gayle King, Nicole Avant, Ted Sarandos. Oh, yeah. The big head honcho at Netflix. Oh, another connection to Meghan. Rob and Cheryl Lowe, Whitney Wolfhard, and others mixed and mingled, adorned in this Laurel Piana attire as a live local Santa Barbara band played acoustic music. But also, who was there? Abigail Spencer, another friend of Meghan Markle's, who did a promo for her and her jams. Her jams, folks. Okay, Some interesting connections are happening. Okay, so in keeping with the Montecito's reputation as the American Riviera, a fresh Italian-inspired dinner was served atop elegant blue and white porcelain dinnerware from Laurel Piana's Art de la Table collection, keeping in mind American Riviera, with Meghan having her being part of the American Riviera brand, Gweneth Paltrow, and this whole Montecito event with around 40 guests. A lot of connections to what Meghan has done. But Meghan was not there, at least in the photos we saw. But Meghan's acquaintances, Meghan's so-called close friend, Abigail Spencer. And you think about why Abigail Spencer was at this event. There's no connection with Abigail and Gwyneth. Why would Gwyneth invite Abigail Spencer, who worked with Meghan on Suits? Why? Why is the question. Oprah, Gayle, people who have spoken very highly of Meghan and defended her, were there. Gwyneth, who has been named in articles to have been with Meghan, never seen, but with Meghan. Interesting. Okay. So we're coming together in one of the most beautiful places, Montecito. Felt like the perfect celebration, Paltrow said. Much of the evening's decor was Laurel Piana, from the wicker baskets and pillows to the cashmere blankets, soft accents that complemented Paltrow's tranquil garden setting. As attendees bid farewell, they received a gift bag stocked with very luxurious goodies, including there's Laura Piana scarf, an assortment of Goop beauty products, which I've mentioned in the past how expensive they are. Oh, yes. Very expensive. Like the common folk would see that and be like, ooh, I'm rich. These folks get in, it's like, oh, it's exactly what I expected. Because, you know, these are very high-end products. Guests stayed seated enjoying themselves well past 9. Okay, so this is the article. What I want to bring to you, and then, you know, we get this whole thing with the A-listers saying that Meghan is being laughed out of Hollywood. I believe, this is a theory that could be the case, that Meghan is covertly being supported by these A-listers because, as I've mentioned in a previous video, they cannot come out via their PR publicists say that they are close friends with her or to even be seen with Meghan because she brings a lot of negative news. You put Meghan into the situation and you're going to get negative press. We also remember when Oprah had her little bash doing something very similar to this event where Kim Kardashian was there. We see now that Kim Kardashian is in good with Meghan as well. So we have these Hollywood people who are attending these very A-lister events that Meghan is not invited to because she brings negativity. But these are people that are still associating themselves with Meghan and associating themselves with events that Meghan should be at. So what is happening when we see this? I believe that Meghan is getting support still from people like Gweneth Paltrow and others because they want to help Meghan. They're trying to help her. This is why she needs to be successful with her Netflix show, because it's like, let's see what you're going to bring to the table. Let's see if you're really able to be this, you know, A-lister and do really good quality, high performing projects that allow you into our group. Because as soon as you get praise and goodwill from your very much well-received projects, Meghan, then you can be with us in public. But until that happens, we can only let you see and watch us do things vicariously through your friends and associates, Meghan, but never really with you with us. So I believe that Meghan is still getting the support, and I'm going to talk about in another video how I believe even perhaps King Charles is still supporting Meghan. And it's not me saying this, but it's in the evidence. It's in the things that we're seeing with the events that are clearly there for us to see. And we're implying, we're inferring, we are looking at things and we are critically thinking about them. That's what's happening. And we almost have to think, what is Meghan up to? Because if you were to read that Meghan is being laughed out of Hollywood by A-listers, you can only imagine that Meghan Markle is beside herself upset. Or is she? Or is she? This is one of those things where I'm looking very suspect at Oprah and Gayle and Gwen and Abigail Spencer and even these people that came to the King's event most recently that I'll talk about in another video and think, are you still helping this woman? Are you really trying to get people to support you so that when Meghan gets her success, you will then welcome her in and then you've achieved this objective of supporting Meghan, but making it look like you don't because she's not in your photos, she's not at your events? What is it? It's very suspect to me, folks. Now, if you made it this far into the video, you know that I can't just go with this one theory. There is another theory that I have, and it is the theory that they are actually laughing at Meghan because things have gone south with Meghan trying to copy everything that Gwen is doing. Catch that video tomorrow. It's very suspect. And I'm almost thinking that we've got to look really deep into this. Because behind the scenes, even we know the support for Harry and his visa is still there by the administration because they're not allowing certain things out in the public domain, even though there are judges, or there was a judge that recently overturned that Harry has to show his visa application. So there's just these little pieces that we're putting together that are not adding up to the articles that we're seeing and the people that we're seeing at these events. So are they trying to change the narrative by getting support and then later bringing Meghan in to somehow get support for her when she has success? It's very tricky. It's very tricky. And so I want to say, let's look deeper and not look at it at face value, but use our third eyeball and see what it is that we are seeing. It's just a theory. It's just a thought, because I'm feeling a special kind of way today. But nonetheless, we all know that Meghan Markle is who she is. She's never going to change. And no matter what kind of covert action is underplay with Hollywood A-listers and trying to support Meghan and her husband Harry, we have to understand that we are not easily fooled. And we won't be easily fooled by the shenanigans of any people placed in these positions of A-list Powerball people and what they may or may not be trying to do with Meghan. We have to look deeper. And Gwyneth, if it is true that we see that there is still support for Meghan because these A-listers are trying to support someone who is a bully, who has treated her family horribly, who is not a very good person overall, I believe their brands will be affected as well once the connection is clearly there that they are still supporting themselves with Meghan. I really do believe that. And I think they're trying to tread very carefully because they know people don't really want Meghan around. They don't want to affect their own income and their own brands by associating themselves publicly with this woman. But are they still supporting her and thinking we don't know or we can't piece together these little covert little actions we see, these little pictures and articles in Hollywood? Is she really being laughed out, or is she really trying to laugh at us that we don't know what the secret is in Hollywood? I don't know, but I think right now we've come on to something that makes us see, we see you, Meghan. We see what you're trying to do. We will not be fooled.